there, everyone. What is up? It's Gleekon, back again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft, and we're going to read another chapter in the book Warcraft Durotan, the prequel novel to the novelization of the Warcraft movie. In the last episode, we continued working through Ajara with a Horde character in our long play completionist walkthrough. So stay a while and listen as we take a little side jaunt into the literary world. Chapter 10. The first snow followed Draka by a mere 29 days. It was not much, a few crystalline flakes that melted before settling on the ground, but snow had never come this early, and Durotan felt both furious and sick. In the summer there had been some protest at his miserliness with their supplies, but now that vanished almost as quickly as the snowflakes. Resignation settled in, but the clan knew they would greet the swiftly approaching winter prepared. Durotan was proud of them. Draka's unexpected arrival heartened the Frostwolves. She would tell stories to rapt young orcs and some rapt not-so-young ones, too. At Durotan's request, she drew maps on dried, tanned hide, showing where she had traveled and what lay there. She offered techniques the Frostwolves had never seen before, ways to hold the bow that granted a steadier aim, methods to rewrap sword hilts to make them easier to grip. But most of all, Durotan realized she offered hope. If an exile could return to the Frostwolves after 2 full years, alive and even stronger, surely they could all survive. Shortly after the snowfall, Durotan asked Gia, Orgrim, Drekthar, and Draka to join him in the chieftain's hut. The first 3 had become trusted advisors, and he sensed Draka had much to contribute as well. At first, the others were stiff and uncomfortable around the newcomer, but gradually everyone started to relax. "I have missed frostweed tea," Draka admitted, accepting a hot cup from Durotan. "Other herbs are nourishing, but none is as tasty." Drekthar, holding his own cup between his hands, turned his head in her direction. "Other herbs?" he inquired. "Only the frostweed and the kibak leaf are safe for us to eat." "I thought so too," Draka said, "but I have since learned that I was wrong. Fireweed and arrowroot can both be eaten. Arrowroot saved my leg when I chewed it and made a poultice to treat a red maca sting. And starflower," her eyes sparkled. "Well, if you need a long sleep and interesting dreams, simply drink a cup." He looked stunned and sat down awkwardly. "Starflower gives death, not sleep. So we and you were taught, Draka. Why would you drink it?" "I did not know what it was when I was offered it," Draka said. "The Thunderlord clan says it is good to quiet the mind." Gia shook her head slowly. "That you are here to tell us this is proof it is not poison, but—" "No doubt our ancestors had reason for teaching us this," Durotan said. "It could be that someone drank too strong a potion and never awoke." "This could be of great help," Drekthar said. "Anything that can heal or feed this clan is a gift, Draka, daughter of Kelkar, son of Rakish. Later, come to the shaman hut and tell all of us what else you have learned." Draka's cheeks turned dark. Durotan almost laughed. Draka, who had survived what most orcs considered a death sentence, who had traveled far and wide, who had a gleefully coarse sense of humor, and who had seen orcs who wore the blood of their own kind like an obscene decoration. Draka was blushing, and abruptly he understood. Gently he placed a hand on her arm. "You are no longer an exile, Draka. You are one of us. You always have been." She shook off his hand with a grunt and muttered something he couldn't catch, but the look she gave him was grateful. Later, taking advantage of the good weather, Durotan assembled a hunting party. Anxious to see Draka demonstrate her various techniques against living prey, he invited her to join the group and was taken aback when she refused. "Why will you not come?" he demanded. "Because I do not wish to." "We require your skills, Draka. We must know what you know." "I have taught you enough here in the village," she said. "Your archers and warriors learn quickly." She strode off. He followed. "The Frostwolves need you to hunt with us." "You have not needed me for 2 years," she shot back and kept walking. Clan members did not simply walk away from their chieftain when he was speaking to them. Irritated now, Durotan grabbed her arm to halt her. She tried to jerk away, her black brows drawing together, her strong jaw jutting fiercely. Like the hands of all orc males, Durotan's were huge on her smaller form. "I am your chieftain," he growled. "You will do as I command." Her eyes, brown as the earth, deep as its secrets, bored into his. "Is this how you lead, then? Perhaps I should have stayed away. He released her and stepped back. No, he said, it is not how I lead. And I am gladder than I can say that you came home. He waited for her to stalk away again, but she stood where she was. Encouraged, he said calmly this time, You do not have to accompany us if you do not wish to, but I don't understand. You have so much to teach us, Draka. Why won't you come? Her frown deepened and she turned away. You know I was sickly as a child. No one taught me the ways of weapons. No one thought I would survive long enough to use them. I had to learn them myself or die. She shrugged. I learned. You did. You amaze me, Draka. She turned to look at him, surprised at the honesty and humbleness in the admission. Show us what you have learned. I for one long to see it. But there were things I did not learn in my exile, she said. Things I didn't have the chance to learn. I can hunt, Durotan, but I cannot ride to that hunt. If she had struck him, he could not have been more astonished. He had not paid much attention to her when he was young. He was the son of a chieftain, and like most children, had focused mainly on his own wants, desires, and perceived hardships. He had assumed all frost wolves learned how to ride, even those who were exiled. But Draka had been delicate, and clearly even her parents had assumed she would be exiled and die. What did a corpse need with riding skills? Yes, he said gently, you can. Today you will ride with me in a place of honor atop Sharptooth. You will sit behind me and speak in my ear, telling me what to do, how to hold the weapon, and I will obey your instructions. All will see you teaching me, and then when there are no other eyes to see or voices to carry tales, I will take you away from the village and teach you how to ride Sharptooth, or whichever wolf chooses you, without any guidance from anyone. Draka's face, her beautiful Sharptooth square face, had gone from closed and wary to open and amazed. She stared at him, then bowed her head and dropped to one knee. You honor me, chieftain, she said. Her voice was thick. Durotan leaned down and lifted her up. No, Draka. All of us, are the ones honored. Come. He extended a hand and grinned. Show us how it is done. Tentatively, she extended her own hand. It was calloused and strong, the nails chipped from hard use, yet his own massive palms swallowed it as his thick fingers closed gently around it as if holding a great treasure. They returned with 6 talboks, and the clan feasted that night. Despite the early snowfall that chilled in more ways than one, the fall was kind. The trees gave forth plenty of nuts, and the fruits were dried and stored with great diligence. The clan had learned the wisdom of doing so last autumn. There was even a brief fall summer in which Durotan invited Durotan to feel enough at ease to ride alone with Draka. She had now been chosen by a wolf of her own. When only a few days old, a Frostwolf child was permitted to play with the pack and bond with the pups. This first great friend could live to see 15 turns of the seasons. The death of one's first wolf was a respected occasion of tremendous grief, often the first great loss of an orc's life. Another wolf would choose the bereaved clan member. This pattern was repeated until the death of a Frostwolf left the wolf behind, alone, just as Ice had been when Garad was killed. The bereft wolf grieved until it chose another clan member. Sometimes that never happened, and the wolf was unrideable for the rest of its life. No one... This is kind of touching. No one had been more shocked than Draka when one evening Ice had separated from the pack and lain down beside her as she sat by the fire. Bold and strong as she was, she had gazed at the huge wolf with the innocent wonderment of a child, hardly daring to believe what she was seeing. Has he chosen me? Draka had asked. Her voice had cracked on the last word. When Durotan assured her that Ice had indeed done so, she had thrown her arms around his father's wolf, and he had seen the glint of tears of joy in her eyes. Durotan had worried at first, as Ice was powerful and stubborn, but he seemed to sense Draka's uncertainty and treated the former exile like a pup. Orgrim teased him relentlessly. She would be a worthy mate. Even your father's wolf thinks so. You would sire fine children. She is strong and beautiful and, he added, smarter than you. All that you say is true, old friend, said Durotan, even last. Do you not find her pleasing? More than I can say, but I do not feel that the time is right to ask her, not with things as they are, not with winter coming. Annoyed, Orgrim growled, If you weren't my chieftain, I would box your ears. I certainly couldn't harm your brain further if you lacked the wits to gratefully accept what is right in front of you. You could try, Durotan challenged, and for the first time since the world had turned harsh, He and his childhood friend engaged in a scuffle with much bruising and more laughter. Winter, as reliable as death, did come, and it was cruel. Game was even scarcer this year, though such a thing would have seemed hard to believe the year before. Hunting parties had to range further to find their quarry, sometimes staying away for several days in a row. Kurgnal, who had led one such hunt, took his chieftain aside upon the group's empty-handed return. "We saw Talbuks," he said bluntly, "but we did not pursue them." "What?" Durotan had to modulate his voice. Something in Kurgnal's grim, lined face told him that this was not news to share with the clan. More quietly, Durotan asked, "Why not?" "They were sick," Kurgnal said. "Sick in a way we have never seen before. They looked like they were not alive, yet they moved. Patches of fur were worn away, and the skin looked green." Durotan felt a chill that had nothing to do with the coldness of the air. "It could be that they have been reduced to eating poison," Durotan said. "Sometimes that can change the color of the skin before death." "Even to green?" Kurgnal asked doubtfully. "My father once told me he met an orc almost as blue as a Draenei. He said it happened when the other clan's water supply had become tainted. If blue, then why not green?" Kurgnal looked relieved. "That is likely what it is. I'd never seen anything like it before. I'm glad to know your father spoke of such things." "Me too," Durotan admitted. "Still, say nothing of this. We have enough troubles for our waking hours. We do not need our dreams to be filled with worries, too." One evening the clan gathered by the fire to listen to Gerlach, whose voice was the strongest, sing a Lokvad Nod. The laughter and cheering of approaching orcs mingled with his words, since there was a group on patrol as usual. Durotan knew these must be the calls of the returning hunting party. Everyone's face brightened at the sound. It meant food, and it had been over 12 days since they had eaten anything but dried fruits and salted fish. "Chieftain!" cried Nokrar as he approached, still on his wolf. The firelight caught the glitter of the rings in his nose and pointed ears, as well as revealing his enormous grin. "We bring good news." "Your safe return is good news all on its own, but I suspect you do not come empty-handed." "We bring 3 Talbuks, and a sign from the spirits," Nokrar said as he swung down from atop his wolf. Drekthar turned his head in Nokrar's direction at the words. "I would be the judge of that, Nokrar, but I would be as pleased to hear it as any frost wolf," he said. "What is this supposed sign?" "We followed the trail of the Talbuk herd to the base of Greyfather Mountain," Nokrar said. "There is a lake there that wasn't there before." "There is grass around it," Shaksa, Nokrar's daughter, put in, so excited that she interrupted. This was only her 3rd hunt. She was shaping up to be one of their best trackers, with a sharp eye matched only by the sharp tongue she had inherited from her father. "Chieftain, the water is hot." Excited murmurs arose. "Surely this is a blessing from the spirit of fire, isn't it, Drekthar?" Nokrar persisted. "In the midst of the worst winter we have ever seen, to find an oasis like this." "I have heard of springs that produce heated water, but never one suddenly appearing," Durotan said. "Nor have I, and I have lived long and listened well to the old stories," Drekthar said. He looked cautiously optimistic. "It is strange that the spirit of fire did not come to me, but it is not beholden to do so, nor are any of the spirits. I do believe this is a good sign. We now know of a place where our prey will gather if they are to eat, and this means that we too will eat." "And bathe," said Nokrar. "It is nothing like the cold lake water in summer. You must come, chieftain, and see this gift for yourself." The very next morning, Durotan and a few others, including Orgrim, Gia, and Draka, rode to the base of Greyfather Mountain. Durotan's eyes widened at the sight. It was exactly as Nokrar and Shaksa had described it. A small spring, which by all logic ought to have been frozen solid, bubbling and emitting steam, was surrounded by a patch of green startlingly verdant against the thick white blanket of snow. And when Durotan sank into the welcoming waters, the near scalding water first shocked, then soothed, and he too believed that the spirit of fire was smiling on them. Just like that, that's the end of the chapter. It's hard to say. Is this kind of like the like circle spirit whatever area that you see in Burning Crusade, kind of where the elements gather? Is this like it seems good, but it's going to be bad because we know we have to at some point get really bad in this book for things to turn the way of the world of Warcraft? But we will find out in the next episode when we read it in a couple days. Thank you everyone so much for watching and listening. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Leave me some comments. Tell me how to improve this show to better improve your life. Or just tell me that you liked it. Thank you, everybody. Check out that Patreon also. I'll be dropping another Patreon Assassin's Creed episode tomorrow. This episode now in the pipe, 5x5.